Welcome to our first video in the video series Ask the Expert PV Supply Chain. Today we want to talk in our first video about the PV module quality during manufacturing, trust and control. So once we make a procurement decision, of course the very basic is trust. Trust with the company, trust with the people who handle all the activities that are related in the procurement process. However, trust, of course, it's clear to everybody, cannot be the only thing that you're doing for quality assurance. There needs to be a very proper plan in place. Once we come into the game, we're often being asked, so the module manufacturer, we have a good relationship, they're tier 1, they have all your certificates. Why should we do anything in addition? The first thing, of course, is we have to be clear, what does a certificate mean? A certificate means that the manufacturer meets the standard. It does not mean more and it does not mean less. An essential thing is that those tests and inspections will be done typically once per year. Can this be translated to the product quality for your specific project? No, it cannot. It needs to be checked individually. So when we're looking at a standard, actually it has certain weaknesses. First of all, the sample size is relatively small. Actually, it's also not a random sampling. So that means actually here are certain limits which are completely according to the standard, but which are at the end not really helpful for the project. So we cannot consider the standard sufficient to cover all the risks that you may face in the project. Also, factory inspections follow a standard. Clients, buyers may have a different point of view. They want to check things in more detail. They need to have specific requirements in the EPC contract. And this will not, of course, be covered by the standard. Therefore, there needs to be a very individual testing and inspection program that really fits to the purpose. Let's talk about Tier 1. What does Tier 1 mean? Actually, Tier 1 does not say anything about quality. Tier 1 is indication how a certain module manufacturer is being considered from a bank's perspective. How many projects have been financed with this manufacturer, or maybe even a specific type. However, of course, that's rather a bit more commercial perspective. It does not have anything to say about really the commercials of a project or the quality of a product. Therefore, there needs to be individual checks in accordance to specific requirements that should be agreed in advance. So the question is how to design such a quality program. First of all, we need to consider that there are various phases in a project. Very early feasibility stage, the development stage. Something when we're coming close to production, when a project is probably already set. We have the phase where production has already started, and then we have a phase where modules are being delivered and received on site. For each of those phases, there are various things that can be done. In an early phase, it's more about benchmarking. It's about seeing where the difference between module manufacturers, between different types, depending on climate, depending on risk allocation, depending on various factors that may be considered in the field. Is there snow? Is the temperature hot? Many different factors. For the pre-production, that means basically to go and to inspect a very specific workshop to verify that the quality is in place, that all the procedures are being applied at a very, very specific place. At the end, we want to make sure that the specific line is fine-tuned in order to meet the demand for your project. Then pre-shipment. In the pre-shipment phase, basically everything that has been done in advance needs to be then also applied for the very specific production. Therefore, we will perform checks, we will check the BOM, we will check all the production processes, safety tests, performance tests that is really in line with the very specific requirements of the order. In the last phase, it's also possible to check the module situation when they arrive on site. Is there any crack after transportation? Is there any damage? There could be various things that can happen. Just assume that there are high waves on the way during shipping. Just imagine there are bumps on the road for the final kilometers to the construction sites. This may have influence on the product quality and long-term reliability. So therefore also it makes sense at least to check on a sampling basis independently if the goods are in proper conditions when they arrive on site. I hope that those ideas give you a short idea of what needs to be done where are certain limits, what you need to look into, and we are very happy to help you and support for defining of quality criteria to tailor-made a quality plan in order to make sure that there will not be surprises once module arrive for you on your side for your project. Thanks for listening.